should study. Hey, remember your promise. It's time to study. It's study time. Wouldn't you like to study? Hey,
That sound.
let's study.
Where is it coming from? Oh my god. So this is how it's gonna be. I have months. My god, you're right. But how? I see. See, what some people don't realize is actually the best way to practice Japanese and to learn Japanese is to live in Japan and to go to a Lawson's and buy some karaage kun retto. I don't know what this means. I think it's like chicken nuggets, basically. Well, they are pretty small, actually. It's kind of difficult for me to two-hand this. There you go, a little red chicken nugget. Whoa! Oh, the spice comes in after. It's not called red for nothing. I also found some One Piece trading card game cards. So I bought those. I can't be trusted, really. We also have an energy jelly, which is famous in my own life, and something called a mochi chocopan, which I don't know what that is, and some Kyoto lemonade, which isn't fizzy. It's like the normal type of lemonade, the juice, but it's pristinely inside this little bottle holder thing. It snowed on my way here, and it kind of rained as well, and I'm gonna be honest, I didn't actually think that far ahead. I'm wearing this, a jumper, and that's it. That's all we got. I also need to figure out where to cross the road here. I'm not entirely certain how to get into where I'm trying to go, but I think I can cross here. One of the problems with driving for 2.5 hours and drinking some Kyoto lemonade at the start is that I desperately need the lavatorium, and I have no idea where it is. But I'm hoping there's one around this corner. That's what the signs seem to suggest. But I need to pee. This is why we drove for 2.5 hours. This is Matsumoto Castle, one of the few castles in Japan that actually survived the Meiji Restoration, with its tenshu, its main sort of central area, intact. I'm freezing cold just for the sake of that shot. Oh my goodness. Ooh. Now it seems like half of the park here is free to use. And they've got nice little lanes going around, but there is a section of this area that you have to pay to get into, which is where I'd quite like to go. I just need to find my way there and not freeze to death first, because it is 0 degrees, which I did not know was going to be the temperature before I came. The castle was originally built in 1594, just before the Edo period, and has managed to survive through centuries of various effects in Japan. The Meiji period in particular was one that tended to destroy castles, so it's amazing that this is one of the few standing, but a local effort to keep it maintained has managed to make it last for 400 years or so. Lots of places in Japan have a character, or kyara as they're called over here, a mascot of sorts, and this is Arupu-chan, who is, I suppose, let's see, who is the mascot, I think, of the castle, and she's stationed just before the gate to get inside. There's also some rudimentary information here, and they gave me a booklet in English, thankfully. If you speak Chinese or Korean, it looks like they also cater to you. A little guide of the map here in terms of where you can go and what parts of the castle you can get into. As always, there's a stamp you can collect, and it seems like there's some Japanese armor to the left. That's pretty cool. It's 700 yen to get inside the grounds and get a closer look at the castle proper. So I'm hoping to get a nice good view. There's a souvenir shop, that's also pretty classic of Japan. It's the castle entrance that way, which I'm going to go to now, I suppose. Non-e-tickets, that's me. So as far as I can tell from the information available, the inside is pretty much as it was since it was built 400 years ago, and it's made out of wood, so that's incredibly impressive. But there's two lines here, there's e-tickets and non-e-tickets, so if you want to pre-plan coming here, you can definitely do that. It's not a warm building. Well, it's no wonder it's not very warm. The winter winds are blowing in. This way. East. City of Matsumoto. North. So there's a tower down there, but I think it's closed. I think that's what it said outside. Okay, so a few things to note about that place. First off, I've come in the winter and all the windows are open. In fact, there's no glass, so it's very cold. Number two, they do ask you to take your shoes off as you go in, so I would recommend wearing some comfortable socks that aren't going to be too slippy, because number three, the stairs are the steepest things known to mankind. They are like descending a mountain with a little bit more control, but if you have really long feet, they're not going to be very good for you because the actual step is quite short. Look at that big boy. I've just realised that I forgot my cap. I left my cap at the restaurant, I think, like a plonker. It's a good thing I started to record that there, otherwise I would have completely forgotten my hat. Now, I'm trying to find my way in the snow, as it turns out. It is snowing. To a place called Frog Street. Oh, that's what I've been told. I don't know. Interestingly enough, someone interviewed me as I was outside the castle. And after that, they gave me some recommendations for what to do in the local area. So I've just had tempura soba. Warmed me right up. I'm hoping that lasts for a little while, because it is cold out here with the snow. It must be said that these back streets are pretty quiet, but they have some quite fascinating places, really. Cafes, coffee shops, maybe a hotel right there. But it is really quiet, though it is one of those streets where there's not actually a footpath. You're just on the side of the road. So this van that's about to go past is actually pretty close. This one's actually a little bit wider than one of the ones I was walking on earlier, but I think it's good to walk around here because it is so cold today, and so keeping the body temperature up is important. Stumbled upon a temple, from the looks of things. Although there is a big Shinto gate there, so I don't know. Where are the frogs? There's the dogs. I think someone's getting married. There's like music playing, there's a woman in a big white dress looking thing, and then there's a man wearing a black kind of kimono suity type thing, but all very traditional Japanese. I don't know what it is, but I don't want to film that if it's some sort of private moment, obviously. So as we come out here, just give it the old bow. Wait, there you go. Okay. Sage of Six Paths right there. So this is Nawate Street. I don't know if Nawate means frog. I don't think so. But these are very cool statue for Frog Street. And it seems like it's a little market street, a little sort of traditional Japanese market street. Places that sell lacquerware and cafes. Restaurants. Seems like through here there's a view of the river. I'd enjoy that a lot more if it wasn't 0 degrees. Don't even have gloves. There's a model shop there with some frogs. Plenty of pigeons. They're not fussed. There you go. This is what I imagine it's like walking through a little sort of Edo town. Except there's Pikachu in the distance. Kimono shop. More frogs, ice cream. I don't know what that is. Gambling. Oh, it was an umbrella. This little frog shrine. Before I go home, this is a taiyaki. It's a fish with a filling. And this one is custard. Blimey. That came out under my tongue. It's a little hot. Okay. Be careful with foods that have a molten filling, because it hurts. I just walked past a man who had a rabbit on his shoulder, and another one in a pram. Bit weird. So back to the car, and not a second too soon, as the snow is really starting to feather itself down here now, and I am so cold. You know, you'd think going on these adventures I might do a little bit of research beforehand, but no, I didn't, and still I've had a fantastic time coming here. I highly recommend coming to Matsumoto, to one of the 12 castles in Japan that still has its central structure from before the Meiji period. It's good fun. It's cold here in the winter now, and snow is occurring, so you know, do be aware. I now have to figure out how to pay for my parking as I leave, and I had to try and make sure that I had only old yen notes, because some of the machines don't recognize the new notes yet, and it seems like this is one of them. So hopefully I've got enough cash that is readable by the machine. Okay, I figured I would take a step out here just to give you a view of what some of this area is like. There is a bridge and the snow, as you can see, has been settling. It's actually kind of hard to see through it because it is just falling everywhere here. And there you go. Bit of a winter landscape right there. You can see a dam in the distance. In fact, some of that dam might have been frozen from the looks of things. But there is just beautiful snowflakes coming down, landing on the fields and the trees. And yeah, okay, there's cars going past and it's very loud, but it is very impressive. Now then, yesterday in Matsumoto, I went to the little souvenir shop. I grabbed some magnets and I also grabbed some apple butter. Now, how they are milking an apple and turning it into butter, I do not know, and quite frankly, it sounds horrifying, so I'm not entirely certain that I want to know. So what I'm doing now is I'm cooking up some toast, and I'm going to try it out, and I'm going to let you know what apple butter actually tastes like. Now, I've never been hugely into magnets. I feel like they clutter things up. However, I think it's nice as a little bit of a keepsake. So here are my magnets for you. There's one. Slap that on the freezer. See, they're a little shiny. And here's one for spring. There's a few options. I just thought that having 3 was nicer than only having 1. Now my apple butter is here. The only reason I know that it's apple butter, it doesn't say it in English, but it does say in Japanese, ringo, which is apple, and bata, which is butter, basically. I also realized that I have a severe weakness for gacha machines, which is not a good way to be, because I was in which one was it? Lawson's, and they had some gacha machines there. I always check to see if they have any One Piece gacha, and they did, and I got my favorite character, Luffy. He's in a little Gomu Gomu fruit, and when you buy multiple, they can stack on top of each other. Okay, well that wasn't supposed to happen. They can stack on top of each other, so I've been kind of holding off buying these ones because I wasn't a big fan of having the little models and getting the one that I didn't like, but because they can stack on top of each other and they don't take up that much room, I quite like the idea of having a few of these. I'm not certain that I've built him right. He kind of wiggles around in there and there's this bar, but I'm not sure where the bar fits. So I'm just assuming that he's kind of delicately balanced here until the end of time. Is it my destiny to live and die alive? Hey, you might be able to hear the kettle. I am just making a hot chocolate as we speak. And my goodness, the light is shining very brightly. I thought I'd bring you over to my windowsill and reveal to you what I have on display to the world. She realized that coming outside was the better idea for this because they are sort of displayed outwards. So we have Genos, there's Luffy, spoilers by the way, Lucci, Law, Luffy again, Hancock, Nami. Then we have, this is like a bug screen. We can move that from the outside. Lilith, Luffy, my little Luffy there that I got from the gacha machine. Choppa! She's from My Dress Up Darling, and her name escapes my mind right now. My favorite, Hashira Frieden, which is a great TV show if you've not seen it, and then Robin. Amazed they haven't yet melted in the sun. Right then, hot chocolate at the ready. It is piping hot. Yeah. And I'm ready for my toast, or as my father would say, toast. Gotta shuffle under the table a little bit there. I don't know what I was really expecting with apple butter, but as you can see here, it's not really melting like butter would. I assumed that it would be a combination of apples and butter. It's a little thinner than apple jam, but it's almost like a puree. But I'm not noticing much evidence of butter, so it'll all be in the taste, I think. All right, here we go. Let's give it a go. Very appley. Is it buttery though? I don't know. I'm not really getting that dairy through. If you go to Matsumoto and you go to the Matsumoto Castle shop, you can buy this. I recommend it, but I also recommend trying the apple jam that they sell here because that's also very good. Something became abundantly clear to me yesterday when the snow kicked in. I am not prepared for winter. I don't have winter gloves. I don't have a proper winter coat. I'm not entirely certain I have enough warm clothes, including socks. So I think today is the day that I actually have to really commit to buying these things, because yesterday the snow came and I want to be ready for when the winter comes over the mountains. Okay, that's a coat and some pajamas acquired, and some heat tech, which is like stuff that goes underneath your clothes. I don't remember what we call it. Thermals. They're thermals. But I still need some new socks and I still need some gloves. So I think I'm going to need to go to Kynes. Probably. Now, just so you don't all think that I shirked my studying responsibilities for the weekend too much, yesterday I did go to a judo class for about 2 hours and was forced to interact with people in exclusively Japanese. The thing about it was that I didn't exactly understand everything, but given that judo is quite physical, I was able to more or less grasp certain ideas. And occasionally they would say certain words in English, like fishing and things like that. It was interesting, to be certain. I wasn't great at speaking, but I think forcing yourself into those situations where you have to speak makes language learning more of a fight or flight response, and I intend to fight, so I'm going to keep going to these clubs. I did notice there was actually karate on in the next hall over at the same time, so I think next time I'm going to try karate and then see if I can choose which one. I think there's a lot less being beaten up in karate, which is my personal preference, but judo was good fun. You did start the session by just doing roly-polies for 5 minutes, and that makes you feel a little sick if you're not used to that, so just be aware. Now then, I've closed my curtains, and there's not much of a better way to spend a Sunday afternoon than having a cheeky little nap with a brand new little garage heater that I bought from Kynes. So, see you on the other side, folks.